Right, Sophie has misobeyed, not really misobeyed. She just knows she has the ability to think for herself. The older sister's little brown and black Chihuahua, and lining of this part of the woods is, right next to the yard, so it's not very hard for a dog to run off. And I have no shirt on. I think I might see her. She might just hear me walking and run back up. But I'll just call and whistle for her, and she did what she does sometimes. She did the opposite. Like, usually she'll come too, but she jetted off. If I don't get you before stepdad comes home, he's gonna throw you in the cage for sure. Literally throw you in the cage. I don't know. Wow, she did a little drip. What you doing, little doggy? Well, that did make for an exciting video. I was gonna venture into the woods with all these crazy spiders sprawled out between the trees coming after you. You can just walk right under them. I don't even have a shirt on. It's too dark and shaded over here to protect my eyes with sunglasses. So, kind of ran. Yeah, I've went through here before without sunglasses, and I walked really slow, and some of these spider webs with these crazy looking spiders with like spikes on their backs, you literally can't see their webs till like you're face to face with it, and that's a little too close for comfort. And me being 6'8", I have a greater chance of getting caught by one. So last video, I was trying to touch on every point about my clonazepam withdrawal process. Just like I mentioned in prior videos, doctor increased me back up to 1.5 milligrams, and instead of dropping 0.5 milligram every week, I'm gonna try dropping 1/4. Not sure if I'm on the best withdrawal process right now. Just because, my medication, I don't know, it's just really weird. Medication makes me, I'll feel drowsy, and then I won't feel drowsy, and like when I'm drowsy, even sometimes when I'm not, my vision will get really blurry, and everything will be like a haze, and I'll have like that depersonalization feeling where you feel like you're looking through someone else's eyes and you're not really completely a part of your own, existence. It's a really sucky feeling. And anyways, then like later on, I'll be like completely, my vision will be like almost like high definition. Hey, so, not a praying mantis, but focus. It's hard to focus on bugs sometimes. Man, when I first got this, I remember I went right up on a whole bunch of ants and they came in like crystal clear. Get out of there. Get out of there. When it starts filling up again, you're gonna be floating away there, little doggy. Yeah, my vision gets like super clear and I almost feel back to normal, and I'll be fine for maybe an hour or two and I'll want to do stuff, but if I do like some work around the house or walk around here or get like too dehydrated or like play with the dogs too hard, exciting stuff, I'll start feeling all woozy again. And then even if I don't do activity, sometimes closer to, like, it might be, like right now I'm taking my medication every 8 hours, so 3 times a day, 0.5 milligram. Sometimes it'll be like 4 hours until my next dose, and I'll start having like an anxiety attack, and a lot of times when it's like 1.5 hours to an hour before my next dose, I'll have one without even knowing like what time it is. It just seems to happen that way. And sometimes it's hard to tell, because like I'll feel like woozy or drowsy from the medication, or I'll just feel woozy and kind of hazy in general. Like for example, just the other night I was feeling woozy and I felt like it was like it's 2 hours until my next dose, and my stepdad had asked me and my older sister Christy if we wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings in Circleville, and I didn't feel the greatest, and part of me was telling me that I needed to sleep, but I know in the past, sometimes when I feel like that, if I overcome that feeling and do something active or something that makes me happy, something positive, like I hadn't gotten out and went to a restaurant like the longest time, and my stepdad was like trying to be positive, similar to my therapist, whatever he is. He just uses a simple approach of telling me, yes, you can do it, or, come on, let's go. Not sit there and overthink about it. So I listened to him, but I ended up having crazy anxiety attack after like 15 minutes inside of Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was semi-embarrassing. I was having the good old leg tremors in both my legs and hands, and I remember my left shoulder was like twitching, and I would like hyperventilate, and then like I would stop myself from breathing too fast, and then I would start doing it again without even thinking about it. and then it's so weird because I thought like the attack was not gonna go away at that time, and until it was like 10 p.m. time for my medication. And the funny thing was, we got up to walk out of Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was like weird because usually something that doesn't even like I've had fun with a million times since I've been so tall, but I noticed someone was like looking at how tall I was, like seemed like an admirable way when I was walking out, so it kind of like gave me a self-esteem, confidence boost, and I went from like having a crazy attack to like not having an attack at all. Like, and then like getting out of there in the fresh air, and it was like dark out and cool. It felt good. So kind of reminded me that part of the problem, like even though the long-term medication use and the withdrawal process has its effects on your brain, you're still doesn't change the fact that your brain is having actual problems, and they can be fixed even without medication. You can't just stop this medication cold turkey though, or you're like guaranteed to go into a dangerous seizure and get a risk of major risk is brain bleeding and permanent brain damage and death, of course. And then you got the standard seizure issues where you could fall down and break your neck, bust your head open. Yeah, then I remember that night I got into my mom's SUV, and my anxiety was like going away, then it like started coming back again, and we like stopped at Blockbuster, and I had like 15 minutes to go before 10 for my medication, and just thinking about it like gave me anxiety. But then I started messing. My mom was like in the video store for a while, and I started messing around with her I don't know, all these semi-fancy buttons on her inside her SUV, and I was trying to connect this iPhone via Bluetooth and gave up on that, but then I found some cool other stuff stuff that's pretty standard in newer cars, like the digital display, right next to your speedometer, like you can see through your steering wheel, behind the steering wheel, like tire pressure and miles per gallon, current, how many estimated miles you have left based on your gas, and navigation, a couple other things, and I don't know, it's some boring stuff, just going through like all these settings, because I haven't done car sales since 2009. I don't personally own a newer vehicle, so it's been a while since I checked it up on some features. I was at my mom's dealership the other day a couple weeks ago, checking out a 2012 limited edition Ford Explorer that actually had a somewhat cooler controls. It was everything was touch sensitive, and had big color screen. Come here, Sophie. Go inside. Let's go inside. Come on. Two dogs tore anything up. If anyone's home. Come on. Yeah, I would have heard someone come home. Yesterday, I have no clue what my mom and stepdad paid for this, but I got this old, it's called like a sample trunk. Estimated to be from, there's only like a 5-year window, 5 to 6 year window that this is from the late 1800s, obviously 1895, because and we found that out because this, there was some writing on this lock, you probably can't see, and we looked at that lock and found, it was like an Eagle lock, and we found out the company name, and it said it was that type of lock was put on the market in like 1895. But then we saw another page that had the claim that there was Eagle locks from the same company from like 1835. So I kind of want to believe the first one though. And yeah, it was funny because both me and my stepdad, like, if you like want us to like look up something or give us a challenge, like we and if it involves getting on a computer, we kind of obsess over it, and that's what we did yesterday. And I had to open my mouth. I'm like, oh, I wonder. Said something about trying to find out like what year it was from and or where it originated from, like who manufactured it. Because the manufacturer, like, it has a name on it, but then it has MHCO. Still haven't figured out what that means. So it could be. It's a very good possibility since it's called like a sample trunk, because this front panel folds down and the top opens up. So, and there is, trying to think. I'm sure in the past you could have had it set up so, I don't know. Maybe just open up and you had to like peep down inside to whatever was inside. I guess if looking at the hinges, it folds down a decent ways. So I guess it's not that deep. Still, but it was made by Schneider Brothers, and said Cincinnati, Ohio, and there is I couldn't find anything exactly on the internet that, like any webpage at all that specifically said Schneider Brothers from Cincinnati, Ohio, that was from, at least early 1900s, and which, by the way, we have found there's like no printed date on this anywhere. The only thing I could find was a French company, which, I mean, it's a close thing that points to this, because my mom said when she bought this, there was like a small box inside, but the antique lady that sold it to her didn't decide that she didn't want to sell the box, the small box. And my mom said it was an ammunition box, and then the like biggest name I could find was Schneider Electric, which originated forever ago in France, and it makes perfect sense because they start off their second phase of manufacturing was, what was the name that they use? Armaments. So, you know, weapons and ammunition. And yeah, I just found out like boatload of information how today's Schneider Electric was, and I mean they even have like a history page on their website on what they're involved in, and then there's a Wikipedia page that has slightly more information, but just with everything that's on there, this like has to be tied to that manufacturer. But still no idea if they made this for a specific company or if some company bought this and then painted on the MHCO themselves. I mean, MH, there's no dot after the C, so obviously it stands for company. Who knows? I mean, that could be someone's initials. Could stand for material handling, munitions handling. I found some OKI names that kind of made sense that popped up last night. Yeah. When this thing was brand new, because we looked up similar trunks, and like on the bottom of it, on the inside, the lacquer finish is, you know, a lot closer to new for how old it is. It's like on the inside it says fiber and Japan, and it spells the fiber ends in RE instead of ER, so that's that name has like British, more of a British term, a British origination, but it also reminds me of French spelling. So, and of course Japan is just a very fine, heavy, nice lacquer coating. So when this thing was brand new, it would be closer to that color. So over the years, it's like all dark brown, but on the inside it looks more like that, and somewhat on the bottom. And then the metal around the edges and all the latches and everything would have been a nice dark black paint. It's hard to tell, but in some of the spots it's scratched, it actually goes down and it's all silvery. But they were it's most likely, I'm guessing, steel, because all their information says they were heavy in the steel business originally. And that's cool. These leather strap used to be strong enough to carry this darn thing. I know I got some damn cheap ass belts that start to fall apart from the own, you know, metal pin that goes inside of it. So don't make them like they used to. And then, of course, Maggie loves to chew on stuff. So today I cut her. Like, this was already broken in half when they bought it, but she tore off some piece from this. Yeah, I'm thinking this side had covered like this. And on the other side it's missing. Still got pieces, but so yeah, fascinating. It is fascinating that it used to be color of that over there. This side looks all sun exposed. It's got like this oily residue on the inside and the bottom. Kind of stinks, so I'm not sure what we're breathing in here. Like, don't notice it now, but it's definitely something you don't want to stick your head down into and just breathe for a while. Oh, this is funny. Sitting on a girly blanket. That's what I'm using. It's my nephew's, but it's got washed and smells okay, so I'd rather have the blue blanket. Little Sophie's. She has to make sure to try and find not only a comfortable spot, but a high, more safe spot, because usually when Maggie gets worked up, she's trying literally almost kill her, like grab her by, like thinks she's playing, but she's also, you can tell she's trying to mark her territory too. And she'll get a little aggressive. Take your boot off here soon. Underneath her boot she has a sock, and underneath her sock she just has a wrapping. She did have a soft cast, but she decided to run out in the creek yesterday, like up and down it in the middle of it. It's funny. I think I'm out of shape. Like, usually Maggie can like jet around the yard for a while, and then like even if she'll be panting and dehydrated, she is young, so she wants to keep going. So I'm surprised that all these dogs are worn out and relaxed. I know if I tried to run around the yard right now, I'd almost pass out. I took off running after Sophie yesterday, and I literally like took a couple steps and I had like stupid sharp pain like right here. I kind of had that problem on and off. Started in like late high school. So have the problem for at least 10 years, but it's been worse in like the last 2 years. If I like bend down to get something, it seems like something in my back will be, like a nerve will be pinched back there, and then it'll like wrapped around my chest. That's what it feels like. So what's on TV? Parents' TV confuses me sometimes, because I've gotten some like Blu-rays from the library, and they're like nice crystal clear, high resolution 1080p. It's like a 55-inch LED LCD Vizio, and yeah, I remember my mom first got this TV, and she spent like all that money on a nice TV. Then she didn't spend $100 for, the Vizio Blu-ray player, and I tried like hinting in a nice way, like, well, it's not that much more money, and the only way to put your TV to full use is to hook up, watch, nice Blu-ray movies on it to get the best, put the picture quality to use. And so I rented or borrowed a few movies, and they looked really, really good. Even some regular DVDs looked extremely good on this, because they, upconverted to 1080p, and instead of like the picture looking semi-flat, like on older TVs, like this TV is able to give characters like depth to like where, like, kind of like this, where someone actually, like, someone's like body part or an object has like shape to it, and then it kind of looks three-dimensional compared to the things in the background. And then I know in older movies, everything, like, there was still, you could tell what was in the foreground, like middle section, and in the background you could tell there was depth, but this like goes to a different level. And I thought that I of course knew that was definitely visible on Blu-rays, but it's cool that it can still give that effect to DVDs. And supposedly watching Blu-rays on this TV and that DVD player increases the resolution by like 6 to 7% most of the time. Some cheaper movies less, of course, but I've read, like, in the past I've read that Blu-rays can go to like 10 to 13%, but who knows? I just know 6 to 7 is a good estimate. One thing I noticed, I know this is getting really boring. One thing I noticed was that like they've been getting some Blu-ray movies from Blockbuster. They have like rent as many movies as you can per month, and I noticed that like we watched some newer titles. Trying to think of one or another one. This one example is Red Tails. Like, it was supposed to be really high-end visual effects, and because from George Lucas, the person with all the great effects from the first 3 episodes of Star Wars. Of course, everyone knows were made later after the other episodes. And we watched it the other day, and it actually had some pixelation to it, which surprised the heck out of me, because can't think of the other one. I don't know. Oh yeah, then we watched like I've seen some regular DVDs that you couldn't see any pixelation unless you got closer to the TV. I know with the Blu-rays, like, you can literally be face to face with the TV, and it's like completely crystal clear. It almost looks like you're staring at someone's frozen face, and you can see like all the, every little last sweat bead and pore on their body. And then it wasn't like that when we borrowed Red Tails on Blu-ray, and we got took it back, but we had Dexter season 1, disc 1, and the second episode, it was really weird. It was like extremely pixelated, and it had like it was like missing some frames per second, so like the people were like literally like moving like this, and it was, I almost couldn't even look at it without getting sick to my stomach. And then on the same disc, the third episode, it was like was upgraded nicely to 1080p and looked fine, other than the fact it wasn't in Blu-ray. This is a standard definition channel. If it was like, they don't have satellite, or don't have a cable out in the country right now, so the only channels that are HD are, that's a bad example, are like standard news channels, and kind of looks good like viewing it from an iPhone screen, but slight very slight pixelation. Aqua, Ohio. Not me. It's another. That looks way more pixelated than it appears on the screen. It'll probably look pixelated if you watch this from a computer. I just know iPhone 4 Retina displays. You know, it's a compact screen, so like everything looks really good, like when you're recording it, and then like when you rewatch it on the actual iPhone screen. But then when you watch it on a video, it looks grainy, even though it says it's supposed to be 720p. I'm pretty sure that only holds true to watching it on the phone screen. ABC, I was sitting there last night. They're gonna have the NBA Finals, I believe, every game on ABC. So I love how everyone says like our Facebook page. It's gonna be funny when if another big thing beyond Facebook like takes everyone within like the next 20 years, which is very likely because they kind of slowed down on their features, and they added video calls to their internet. They're like regular internet browser page, but they haven't updated the video calls into the mobile phones yet. They're beta testing it, which is a good thing, because I have like a whole other story about a bad experience with beta testing on the poker site I play on. But in the Facebook app for iPhone and Android, if you can view the files, it's funny, they don't try and hide the name at all. It's called like admin video chat or something simple like that, and you can open it and crack it and use the video chat through the Facebook Messenger app. But it's such a big hassle because there are so many other alternatives to video chat, like Tango and Skype, and I know Yahoo Messenger has free video chat. I'm sure, I'm just guessing the MSN and AOL Messenger apps also have it. They've had it forever on the computers. Columbus Pride. Yeah, so the over-the-air HD channels, you know, it's nice because they fill up the screen. I know this is boring, but I know my stepdad decided to get majority of the Star Trek movies on DVD, and all the videos are already formatted in widescreen, but he decided to go to the menu, and even though this by default says wide, I think they should have put the word picture there instead, so it doesn't confuse people, because confused me for the longest time. Because when you select it right now, when you go to that, it says it's on normal. And anyways, we're watching the movie, and the DVDs are already rated for widescreen. Older sister's pulling in, your mommy's here. But anyways, he went over to widescreens. I know it's hard to give an example right now, but if you put something that's already in widescreen mode you put the TV into widescreen mode, it actually gives like a zoom in effect. I need something with a logo. Anyways, like that font at the bottom, if you put it on widescreen, it'll actually move closer to the bottom of the TV because it stretches things out from top to bottom. So we were watching DVDs and it pixelated them.